Welcome to episode 7. That's right, episode 7 of the Noiseless Madman podcast. I am, of course, the Noiseless Madman. Also known as Ryan, R-Y-A-N. Not Brian, B-R-I-A-N, as some people mispronounce it. But anyways, moving on. I been up to a couple of things recently, mostly just working on my various creative projects and whatnot. I also kind of shifted some things around, but more on that much later, of course. One thing I wanted to just mention was that I recently subscribed to Netflix. And I know, like, nowadays, pretty much everyone has a Netflix subscription. But for me, I went without it for a very long time. Although I will say that back when Netflix was first created, when it first started, I was an active subscriber for a number of years. I want to say, I think I originally joined Netflix back in 2009, or like very early, like towards the end of 2008. And then I canceled my subscription sometime in, I don't know, maybe 2010, 2011, I believe. That was mostly because I was in the process of moving. Didn't have access to regular Wi-Fi, all that stuff. But now I'm surprised to see that Netflix has changed so much. Well, I mean, I pretty much knew anyways, but I didn't know how many more really good movies that are now available for streaming on there. And not only that, but also original TV shows, or rather TV. I guess series. I guess technically they're called series, Netflix series. But then they also have series that were originally aired, of course, on TV. So I'm definitely enjoying it a lot. I haven't even made a dent in the list of movies and TV shows that I've already compiled. And one thing I don't know if does Netflix, do they still offer the DVDs? I was kind of looking into that the other day. Doesn't seem like they do. But anyways, I don't know, because that's how I used to get it. I remember waiting for about a week or so to get those DVDs in the mail, and then there was a lot of times when some of them would get lost, or they would be just really completely scratched and all that. So I guess it does make a lot more sense to just keep it as a strict streaming service, because that way don't have to worry about lost DVDs, scratched, damaged DVDs, and so it makes sense. So yeah. One movie I recently saw on Netflix is titled Ask Me Anything, and it stars the actress Britt Robertson. She's been in a number of other movies. Also, she was in that TV series Under the Dome, which is based on the novel by Stephen King. So she was in that show. But in this movie, Ask Me Anything, she plays Katie Campenfelt. And this movie it's based on another novel too. So she plays this teenager who I guess just recently graduated from high school, decides to take a year off before actually attending any kind of college or university. And she pretty much just kind of, doesn't do much other than she decides to start a blog. She starts blogging about just very personal stuff, mostly about her different different sexual encounters with, I guess I want to say 3 men in her life. One being her boyfriend, and the other being some guy who's supposed to be like some kind of professor or like film, who teaches in the film department or something like that. And then there's another guy who I guess works for some kind of investment firm or advertising firm or something. He's married. But essentially she blogs about, her experiences that she has with these men, and then also a lot about her own personal thoughts and whatnot. And she does it completely anonymously, of course. And now, of course, I didn't really know what to expect from this movie. I guess for me, the title got me interested, and then I read a quick summary about it, and also the fact that other actors are in this movie, such as Justin Long and Christian Slater, and even Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen is in this movie. He plays this owner of a bookstore who hires her, then she's not able to work at his bookstore for too long. And anyways, I don't want to give away too many of the details, but to me it seemed like a pretty interesting movie. I don't know why, unfortunately it has such a low rating on Netflix. Although when I looked on the IMDb site, of course, it has a rating of like 6 or something, which makes sense. It's a decent movie. There are parts that seem like kind of cheesy or kind of like that kind of come out of nowhere, that don't really fit in with the rest of the story. But then I guess you kind of have to be aware of the fact that it's a movie about this teenage girl who's writing a blog, and like most blogs, or most blogs don't exactly adhere to a lot of factual information. The same goes for any other site or social media. There's not a lot of facts. Let's face it. Everything, we don't all believe everything that we see on Facebook. We don't believe everything we read on a blog or on another website. So that's one thing to keep in mind when watching this movie. The fact that, hey, is this teenage girl, you're going to expect that she's going to exaggerate the facts a little bit, just because she can, because she can, and because of the fact that she's still kind of naive and innocent, and to a certain extent, maybe not physically innocent, but mentally, emotionally naive and innocent. Yeah. So that's the only thing I didn't like about this movie. But then I also had to remind myself too that I was like, hey, like, she's a teenager. She's obviously exaggerating some of the facts, some of the details, or maybe everything. And then, of course, the ending. I didn't really like the ending that much, just because it seemed like it was just like, I don't know, depressing or kind of tragic, or because essentially the end, it just kind of reveals everything for the fiction that it really is. And so I don't know, and it kind of made me think like, is this based on a true story or something like that? And I try to look more into that, but I think it's not really based on any one particular true story, but I guess it's more like it's based on a collection of true events, or a collection of I guess real life events that may or may not have occurred, or that that can happen. And so yeah, I guess it's an okay movie. It's decent. I would say it's definitely not for kids, but I'm pretty sure a number of kids and teenagers have already seen it since it's on Netflix and a couple of other sites too, I think. But yeah, it's a decent movie. It gives you a nice insight into the female teenage mind, or I guess it's not really a thorough kind of insight, but insight nonetheless. So, on a scale of 1 tamale to 10 tamales, I give Ask Me Anything about a 7.5, 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, check it out. It's of course available for streaming on Netflix right now. So yeah. Okay. Another thing I've watched recently on Netflix was, I guess it's a series called Maron, stars comedian Mark Maron. And of course, I guess originally the series was aired on, I want to say, IFC, the IFC channel, maybe another channel. But so it's on Netflix now. I think all the current seasons are available on there. I just recently watched 3 episodes from the first season, and I really liked it. I didn't know much about her before, other than that it's about, of course, Mark Maron, the comedian Mark Maron, and he, I guess because of the fact that he doesn't have a lot going on with his career, so he decides to start his own podcast, and so and he interviews his other comedian and actor friends, and it's pretty funny. It's just kind of, there's a lot of other funny stuff that happens in between. Of course, it immediately reminded me of myself and the things that I try to do with my own podcast sometimes, and also other podcasts that I've listened to as well. So I definitely identified with it, and it kind of made me want to try to do something similar. I guess it made me want to do something similar to what he does on his podcast. And, although because on his show, of course, he's got a setup in his garage, and while that may not seem glamorous to a lot of people, to me it seems pretty cool though, because he's got his own designated space, his own designated area for just doing his podcast. And me, I don't really have that right now, but although I hope to someday, I hope to get there. And I'm still trying, of course. I'm trying practically every day or every other day to set up interviews with some of my friends and colleagues, or I guess you call them colleagues. But it's obviously it's a lot tougher to do. Well, easier said than done, because of the fact that most people get busy doing other things, and so life just takes hold, and